Hey guys, it's Ann behind the apron Monday night. Just wondering what's for dinner in your house. I thought I would do a little cooking and show you what's for dinner at my house. So I have a couple things already going on in the stove top here. Let's see if I can get the device to be in the right spot for you. And we'll do some cooking together. So on top of the stove, I already have part of this going. I'm doing meatball marsala, and I'm using it over pasta. So I have my pasta already at a simmer stage here. So I'll just pull up so you can see. One quick noodle, so it's already cooking. Not sure why I can't get this to move with me. Let's see if it'll turn over here. Come on. My portal is kind of crazy this year, isn't it? The other night we had trouble too, so let's try it at this angle, see if we'll get a better look. There we go. Okay, so I have pasta simmering here, and what I'm going to do is actually put the steamer on top, and I'm going to add the broccoli right now so that the fresh broccoli can be steaming while the pasta finishes, and I have the timer set for that. And then what I have going on right here, I turn my pan around so I can bring it to show you guys. I wonder where that's at. There we go. I am browning some meatballs. And the meatball recipe is a pretty standard meatball. You're going to mix sausage, ground beef, some breadcrumbs, an egg, some salt and pepper, a little bit of red pepper flakes if you want. So we have the meatballs here, and I'm just going to kind of brown both sides. So as I will kind of turn them to get them, you know, a little bit brown, you don't have to worry about them being cooked all the way through yet. So you can make these. By the way, one of my favorite things to do when making meatballs is to use the scoops from our cooking line. I really want you guys to be able to see better. There we go. So I'm using one of the small tongs. And then as soon as I have just a couple, maybe a minute or two more, I'm actually going to remove the meatballs and put them in a storage container. But I'm going to get ready to make the sauce. So Marsala sauce, you can use Marsala wine, but I don't really care for that. And so we use a dry red as a substitute instead. You could use a dry white. You can even use grape juice. So there's a lot of options and a lot of things that you could substitute that with you. But the sauce is going to have fresh mushrooms, some fresh garlic, some dry red, some chicken broth, and basically though what I'm going to do, oh, by the way, I was going to show you this because we have two different wine openers in our line. We have an electric rechargeable that so many people love, and then we have this amazing one that I love, this rabbit ear, because you don't have to do anything but literally put this over the top of the bottle, squeeze just like that, go down, lift it up, and voila, you have an open bottle of wine. And can't say enough love about this. So it's in our line, and you could have used the cutter and taken the wire off. As you see, I'm just peeling this back right now, but I don't even worry about that since it cuts right through it. And then I'm going to just grab out a measuring cup though, because I am going to just pour into this 1 cup of the red wine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the meatballs out of the skillet now. And I'm just going to set them in a glass container right here so that they just stay close to the stove. They're browned on two sides. And I'm going to leave them here, even though they're not cooked all the way through yet, because I want to use this same skillet that has this extra butter in. And I want to put the mushrooms in. I want to add a little salt and pepper. And I forgot to pick up fresh parsley. You guys, the recipe calls for fresh parsley, but I'm just using dried because I forgot. So I'm going to give this a good stir so that the mushrooms are cooking. I'm going to then pour in the red wine, and I am going to let that simmer until the red wine is almost gone, and because it mostly evaporates anyway. And then it will, whoops, sorry guys, it will just about be gone. When it's just about gone, then I will put flour over the, I'll sprinkle flour over the top, just about a tablespoon, and let that get good and hot. Then I will add a cup of chicken broth, okay? And so that flour is going to help thicken the process of this pan. As you can see what's going on in here right now, if I get it closer and tip it a little bit for you, then it will thicken when I go to the chicken stock set. And then that is when I will put the meatballs back in so it can finish cooking. And then when it's done, I will, before we serve it, I will toss the fresh broccoli in with it, and then we'll serve it over the pasta. So it's just a quick, kind of almost a one pot. If I didn't have to make my pasta, as I need to turn that down, I can see here. And if I didn't need to make the pasta, if I wanted to do potatoes or something like that, you could certainly do that. But this just allows you to do really kind of a fast one pot dinner. And then if you're going to make the mess of making meatballs anyway, you guys, make a couple batches so that you can freeze them, because you can freeze the meatballs, put them out on a cookie sheet and put them on parchment paper. Then you can freeze them in individual meatballs. And then once they're good and frozen, you can take them off the cookie sheet. You can throw them in a Ziploc bag or whatever. But then you have a great fast meal that you could then make spaghetti and meatballs. You could make meatball subs. You could make this recipe again. Anything that you want to do that would be really fast like that, okay? And remember I mentioned that the cookie scoops, you know, like, look in my drawer here, like one of these cookie scoops, making your meatballs uniform and keep them in the same shape, and so you're not having to dig in there and do that with your hands too, okay? So just a fun, fast recipe. Wondering what's for dinner at your house tonight too, and put it in the comments, because I love seeing what other people are doing. And I think that's it. So if you think of things or you're wondering how this turns out, maybe I'll take a picture of it when I plate it for you and show it so you can see. We've got some greens in there. Eat your rainbow. That's a goal of 2022. And enjoy cooking at home, you guys. Really, if you have the ideas, it's fast and it saves you a ton of money, and it can be a ton healthier too. So 10-inch skillet from my favorite line, because it gives you this sear. It's the stainless steel nonstick, and lots of other favorites that I used quick. So thanks for popping in. See you soon.